Greetings, everyone. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Hi, good morning. We'll give folks just another minute or so to log in and get situated. If you haven't already done so, please mute yourself using the GoToMeeting control panel as shown in the current slide here. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the CARE Drop-Off Site Quarterly Webinar. My name is Cheryl Duran, and I am the project coordinator for the California Carpet Stewardship Program. I am based in the Sacramento area, and I provide logistical support to all of our drop-off site locations and the CARE team. Jared Sidtran, Lisa Mekas, Rob Teese, and Abby Bean are also in attendance today. We know how busy you are, and we greatly appreciate your attendance in this webinar. The first order of business is to guide you to the mute button. To mute yourself, click on the people icon at the top of the GoToMeeting control panel. Once you have clicked on it, a list of names will pop up. Please scroll to locate your name in the list and then click on the microphone icon so that a line appears across it. This indicates you are muted. And just a friendly reminder, if you're not muted, any audio or conversations in the background will be broadcast to the group. If you do have a question or comment about anything during the presentation, please feel free to unmute yourself by clicking on that microphone icon again and enter your question into the chat function if you'd prefer not to speak or do not have a microphone. And we'll do our best to keep an eye on that chat box and respond to any questions there. Additionally, please be aware that the webinar is being recorded. It will be made available on the CARE website for any staff that are unable to attend today. We'll also send out a copy of the PowerPoint presentation in PDF format for those who might be interested. And we do track attendance for record-keeping purposes. So if you've logged in but did not share your name and it is not listed in the People tab, please go ahead and type your name inside a chat box now and include the name of the facility or organization you're with. This way we can note your attendance today. Okay, let's review the agenda. Today we'll start with a couple of program updates and announcements, and then we will review CARE's 2022 goals and carpet drop-off site program figures for the first quarter. From there, we'll touch on drop-off site operational items and changes. And next, CARE would like to share a brief summary of some of the things we have learned from your quarterly report submissions over time. After that, we will hear from our guest presenter, Abby Bean, and then we'll open up the call for us to discuss what's working and what's not working, or any unique issues folks may have faced in the past quarter. During this portion of the presentation, we acknowledge your achievements and would also like to hear from you on how we can improve and help the program to collect more carpet. And finally, we'll then open it up one more time to see if anyone has any questions, comments, or feedbacks before we close. So with that, let's move into the carpet drop-off site program announcements and updates. CARE would like to welcome 5 new sites to the program. Please join us in welcoming BJM Installers, Benicia and Sacramento locations, Central Floor Supply in Fresno, Keller Interiors in Paris, California, and McCourtney Road Transfer Station in Grass Valley. Thank you for joining the program, and we look forward to supporting you in your efforts in capturing carpet at your facilities. The addition of these 5 sites bring us up to 101 CARE-sponsored drop-off sites located in all 58 counties. 98 of those sites are open to the general public. We'll continue to add more sites in the coming months as we grow and strive to reach our goals, and we thank you all for being a part of that. Next, we want to put the word out that CARE is hiring for a program director and carpet stewardship associates. If you happen to know of any qualified individuals who might be looking to make a difference in the growth of the program, we encourage them to check our careers page on our website. More information will be posted in the coming week there. And of course, we aren't encouraging anyone here to leave their current role. We just respect your connection to our industry and are hoping you may have someone in mind that you think would make a good fit. So next, before we go into Q1 results, we want to share 2 very important program goals for 2022. And one of those is convenient collections. Each year, CARE's goals progress to capture more carpet for recycling or reuse, and this year's no exception. But in addition to actively collecting more carpet and carpet tile, CARE is required to provide convenience for Californians to drop off post-consumer carpet. To meet this requirement, CARE is working hard to recruit businesses and facilities that can support a drop-off site. especially in the Southern California region and underserved areas. And here to speak a little bit more on the need in this region is Jared Zitron, Senior Associate.
Yeah, thanks, Cheryl. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. Really, truly appreciate it. I know you're all really busy. So just wanted to jump in quickly, just a really brief comment to say that we do really have a large need in Southern California for public drop-off sites. This is a goal that we're trying to reach by year end, or of course sooner. And we're looking for a total of 29, essentially 30 new public drop-off sites in the Southern California region. And the reasoning behind this goal is CARE's commitment to establishing one public drop-off site per 500,000 residents in each county. Specifically, we're looking for new drop-off points in the Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Diego, and Ventura County areas. And this includes recycling facilities, as most of you are, and flooring retail locations as well, if you know of any that are not already recycling. Specifically, I know you're not probably going to remember these numbers, but just to give you an idea of the push we have, we're looking for 17 in Los Angeles, 4 in Orange County, 4 each in Orange County, Riverside, and San Diego, and then 1 more in Ventura County. And you know, there are specific regions that are underserved in each of those counties. I would really highlight just the Palm Desert area and Riverside, in the North and East County areas in San Diego. But in general, we're really looking to spread throughout these counties according to those numbers that I just mentioned. So if you think of any affiliated facilities that you're involved with, or, you know, quote unquote sister companies that you have, or if you know of any accounts that generate large amounts of post-consumer carpet that would potentially be good for a public drop-off point, CARE provides the container and hauling for free to those locations, as you very well know. If you bring that to our attention, we'll be happy to follow up. And in addition, as many public drop-off sites have started doing, there is the potential to perform the hauling yourself if your company performs that type of service, with reimbursement from CARE to act as our hauler to those carpet recycling locations. So we can discuss the details on a case-by-case basis, so I won't take up more of your time on this call. But I do want to thank you for attending, and we look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you on this. And you can reach out to me directly. Most of you have my contact information, or Cheryl or Lisa. Any of us will be happy to help you with that. So I think that's it for me. Back to you, Cheryl.
Great. Thank you, Jared. That's awesome. As I mentioned earlier, CARE's plan goals progress each year. And this year we're striving to make 2022 the biggest collection year yet. Our 2022 pound goal for public drop-off sites is 17 million pounds. And we are already on our way to reaching it this year. To help reach this goal, we recommend keeping an eye out for any recyclable carpet that may be heading to landfill instead of your recycling area, because every pound counts. So now let's look into some Q1 numbers. We know you're working hard and it shows. So far in 2022, your combined efforts have collected over 3.2 million pounds of carpet. That's fantastic. We truly appreciate your efforts. Let us know how we can continue to support you as we strive to reach our year-end goal. And here's a quick snapshot of where we have been and what our trajectory looks like so far this year. In 2021, you collected roughly 12.5 million pounds. And as you can see by this chart, we've been increasing pounds collected each year. We are anticipating staying on that trajectory, so reaching our goal this year should be achievable. And we'll continue to share this information as we progress into the year. So far, we're at approximately 225 trailer and container swaps in Q1. Q1 is typically a slower quarter compared to others, and we fully expect our numbers to continue to increase as demonstrated in previous years. And CARE is prepared for the upcoming busy time, and we're here to offer support or suggestions on managing peak season loads and services. Now let us move into some drop-off site operations topics. We'll start with getting the word out that carpet is recyclable, and then we'll talk a little bit about carpet tile and some light housekeeping for our self-haulers. As we move into this year, we continue to spread the word that carpet is recyclable, and we could use your assistance. There are many ways to get the message out, and having carpet listed on your business website is one that we strongly encourage. It not only helps to educate the public, but it can also help to guide customers to your facility. When people research where to bring their recycled materials, they often start with a local facility and check online to see what materials are accepted for recycling, as well as any associated fees. Having carpet listed as an accepted material will provide valuable guidance for those seeking to find you. And for those of you that do not yet have carpet listed on your website, we can help with that. As a partner to CARE, our marketing team would be happy to work with your webmaster to get you the appropriate text to add to your site. Drop-off sites benefits also include publish-ready content that can be customized to fit your business needs, as well as signage, brochures, and press release statements. So please reach out to us if you would like to take advantage of that option. You can speak with your CARE associate, or you can email us at ca@carpetrecovery.org. Another way is through visible messaging, and in 2021, CARE began a refresh project of cargo containers. These containers are used by our side lift services sites. Using recycled paint and adding a large CARE logo on the sides draws more visibility to the program. They act as a moving billboard as they travel down the road during services. If you see one at a site or during your travel, snap a picture and tag us on social media. We'd love to see your photos. CARE is very focused on meeting our carpet tile recycling and reuse goals, and we are working with several entities to get them to processing facilities and or reuse vendors. Your assistance with making sure tile is properly handled at your location is key. Tile should be stacked, wrapped, and strapped on a pallet before being loaded into a trailer or container. Not only is it a more organized use of space and labor, but it's also safer to unload after traveling. If you need instructional material to hand out to your customers, please let us know. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. So this next topic is really just for our self-hauling sites. We appreciate everyone else's time while we go over just a little bit of housekeeping for them. Because of the growth of the program and the increased number of self-haulers, CARE is continuing to streamline our operations. One area that has been updated is our invoicing protocols. We'd like to remind our self-haul sites to submit a pre-delivery report to obtain a work order number using our online form found on our website. The link to the form is located on the drop-off services page on our website. Please make sure to reference the issued work order number on the invoice you submit related to that delivery. We recommend you bookmark the link to make finding it easier. CARE will be sending an email with this link to our self-haulers and also highlighting changes impacting required information for invoicing CARE. If anyone has any questions related to the pre-delivery report, please reach out to either Jared Zitron or me. So thank you for listening to that. Okay, let's move on to our next topic, which is a highlight from your quarterly report submissions. The quarterly report submissions are a requirement for all CARE public sites. We ask you to submit a report so that we may get a healthy set of responses to evaluate in hopes of making improvements to the program. Your voices help us direct our efforts to where they might be needed. In this quarter, we wanted to highlight some findings from the answers submitted by sites in 2021. These figures represent your answers and are based on the number of respondents in any given quarter. In 2021, for instance, an average of 72 sites submitted a report each quarter. In this slide, we look at what disposition or condition the carpet may be in when it is brought to drop-off site. The top left table shows us what % of respondents estimated that at least half of the carpet that came to their facility was sent to landfill rather than recycled. causes for this could be a number of reasons, including a customer not being aware of the program, or maybe where the recycling bin is. It might have been a mixed load with excessive debris, or the loads were just not acceptable. Based on the low percentage numbers we're seeing here, we're optimistic that people are becoming aware of the program and are taking more carpet to the recycling center. But because we started asking this question in 2021, we do not have previous years to compare this data with, but we will track future results to ensure the numbers don't creep upwards. The lower right table shows the percent of respondents who estimate that less than 10% of material which made it to the recycling area became wet or dirty after it arrived. Inclement weather can be a big reason this might occur. If you're a site with challenges keeping carpet dry, we encourage you to explore grant opportunities that might help with securing a weather cover. On our next slide, we look at program awareness. In the table, we can see what percent of respondents felt that at least half or more of their customers generally do not understand how drop-off practices work. And this might show up in a customer trying to take it to a landfill area, not properly rolling or stacking, or including debris or other items in the load. What we are seeing, however, is an improvement over time between 2020 and 2021. We also see that 91% of respondents were displaying care signage, as well as 87% of respondents listing carpet on their website. With the continued posting of care signage and outreach, along with information on your websites, we hope to see a further drop in these percents. That said, we know we still have some work to do to educate the public, and our outreach team is working on it every day. So this wraps up our quarterly report submission review. I know that was a lot of information, and we still have a little bit more to cover, so let's go ahead and move on. Now we'll hear from Abby Bean, Acting Program Director and Grants Manager for CARE. Abby, do you have some updates you'd like to share with the group?
Hi there, Cheryl. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for being on the call today, and Cheryl for you bringing us together. I really do appreciate that we have over 100 drop-off sites at this point. That's a great achievement, and one in every county, and you've all been part of that. So we really appreciate everyone on this call for making that happen. And as Jared said, we do have a little ways to go in Northern California, and quite a few sites we need to add in Southern California. So thanks for your attention to that. And you can go to the next slide. I'll talk a bit about some of the grant programs that we have that are active right now. And I hope, I realize I've talked about grants quite a few times on the call, so I hope you're not too sick of hearing about the funding that we have available. But we did just open 2 new cycles, so I thought it was worth talking about during this quarterly webinar. Go to the next slide. Thanks. So we just opened cycle 5 of our microgrants program, which many of you have applied for in the past and successfully completed. So we thank you for that. Like I said, this is cycle 5, which means it's the 5th year that we've offered this program. Last year, the drop-off sites and others who applied under cycle 4 and previous cycles collected over 2.5 million pounds last year. So thank you for that. That was a good achievement. The basics of this cycle, if you're not aware, which I know many of you are that we have $15,000 available per project, per eligible entity each year. And we haven't dispersed any funds yet this year, although we do have a couple applications under review. The projects must be based in California. These funds are for equipment and infrastructure that will establish or increase post-consumer carpet separation and collection for recycling or reuse. And the applications will be accepted through the end of the year until the funds are exhausted. And thanks to Cheryl, a year or two ago, we took this process online. So if you're comfortable with it, it's now a very easy online form that you would go to in order to apply for a grant. It's at carpetrecovery.org/CA-grants. And you go scroll down under cycle 5M, and there you'll find a link to a form that you fill in order to apply for a grant. And there's also a budget template there that you can download and fill out. It's just a one-page Excel, and that gets uploaded into the online form. So it's a pretty simple process. We do ask that you get a quote or a bid for the work or the equipment before you apply, so that you can upload that into the form and we can see exactly what you'd like to purchase. And then we also look at the impact that the grant will have in terms of annual pounds reused or collected through the program. So yes, those are available, like I said, through the end of 2022. So we hope to see some of you apply, and they're also available for new sites or folks that would like to become sites. Sometimes equipment or infrastructure is needed in order for that to happen. So that's why we offer those. Next slide. This is, let's see, for those of you who are on the computer and not on your phone and can't see, there are photos here of the different projects that we funded through the microgrants program. And we've shown some of these before, but most commonly folks will use funding for the weather covers or cement pads in order to keep carpet clean and dry. We have hydraulic trailers that some stores have bought. We haven't seen any landfills or transfer stations or anything like that purchase these trailers, but carpet retailers have purchased these to keep at their store when space is tight, or haul from job to job when they need to pick up separated carpet. And that's the photo on the left there. At the top, there's containers that can be self-hauled potentially, or containers that would be picked up from us. Maybe you need a lid for it or something. So we've purchased containers and lids before. And I should also say thank you to all those of you who have spent so much time installing those "We Recycle Carpet with Care" decals that you see there on that container, because those look great, as Cheryl said. And I know it's taken some considerable time to get that done. And then on the right, there's a small trailer that one of our retailers purchased, where they source separate carpet from different job sites and then haul it directly to our recycler in Lincoln, California. So that's another option we've seen. And then at the bottom right, we have a machine that was purchased by one of our union groups in order to prepare tile for recycling. And I should say we definitely prioritize more tile recycling and reuse. We'd love to continue to grow those numbers on both tile and reuse. So any projects focusing on that would be great to see. Okay, next slide. I also wanted to mention, I don't know how much I've mentioned this before on these calls, but we have a capital grants program that just opened this month. The deadline for applications is July 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific. And this program is open to collection projects that are larger in scale, so kind of a more significant impact of potentially 1 million+ pounds per year. And a few of those on the call have received capital grants through our programs for things like, fleets of containers, to try to go out and service retailers and other stores, or doing more significant projects that would increase carpet collection or reuse. Over 28 million pounds was collected by our capital grantees last year, and that encompasses all cycles since cycle 1, which we started back in 2016. There's 500,000 available per year per company under our capital grants cycle. Projects must be based in California for this round. And as I mentioned, these funds are for equipment and infrastructure if the project establishes or increases post-consumer carpet collection, reuse, recycling, and or manufacturing. So a lot of the applications that we see are actually from our processors and our manufacturers as well. And then again, you can apply online for this type of grant. It is a more involved process. There's a lot more questions and documentation needed because it's a larger funding pool, but still at carpetrecovery.org/CA-grants, there's an online form there, as well as a budget template. And and then we also ask with this cycle, just like in the microgrant cycle, that you secure bids or quotes for the equipment that you're looking at purchasing or infrastructure improvements that you're looking at funding. And yeah, you can get more information there under cycle 6A. And there's a solicitation for both this cycle and the microgrant cycle that I mentioned. It's a full solicitation, about 6 or 7 pages, that outlines all of the project requirements, the scoring criteria, you know, how to submit questions, all of those details. Okay, and then the last slide, Cheryl. So again, for those of you who can see the photos here, these are some pictures of capital grant funded projects. So on the right, a few of our larger collector sorters have purchased equipment such as forklifts or skid steers for, you know, easier loading of carpet, particularly if they have significant amounts coming through the facility. We have helped fund for Hayward Transfer Station here on the left, fleets of containers, which all have these nice decals on them now, and go out to the stores to collect carpet. And then in the middle, there's a photo of, you know, another type of trailer. I believe this one was the Eastern Impressions down in Southern California. And these folks are also going out and collecting from retailers and other carpet generators and bringing that carpet back to the facility and sorting it by fiber type. So there are definitely different styles of containers that you all can look at. The last thing I'll mention is that we do have another collection program. The application period just closed, but it's kind of exciting, and I hope to talk about it more on a future webinar. We're trying to run some pilot programs with a few of our larger collectors or collector sorters, where we may be funding, you know, small containers or racks to be placed at stores that are space constrained. And begin, you know, pilot programs to pick up that carpet, you know, get it collected and separated, and then assess how much that's actually costing per pound to get at some of those smaller volumes that we'd like to see, because we've gotten a lot of the lower hanging fruit, and now we're looking for the higher hanging fruit. So it'll be interesting to see the results from that program on a future webinar. I think that that's it for me. I would just say if you need to contact me, I think that my contact information was on that first slide there. I'm at sorry about that, Cheryl, ABEANE, Abean at carpetrecovery.org. My cell phone number is there. My number is also on the website, so you can go there to try to contact me, and happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Abby. Does anybody have any questions for Abby? No? Okay, so well, this brings us to our next agenda item. Let's take a look at some sites who stood out last quarter. Every care site's contribution is equally important, but each quarter we take a look at figures and take a moment to highlight some sites with the largest volume. And for Q1, CARE would like to give a nod to the following sites for most pounds collected during the reporting period. And before I go show you that, just a note here, I believe our top collectors crew from Q1 is going to be very happy to hear they have made it back to number one this quarter, because apparently they have a bit of competitiveness in them. So let's give a shout out to Bena Landfill in Bakersfield for bringing in almost 413,000 pounds in Q1. Great comeback. But don't get too comfortable, because right behind you are Hayward Transfer Station, Contra Costa Waste Services, American Reclamation, Lauren Perkins Road in Sacramento, and Buena Vista Landfill in Watsonville. So job well done, and thank you all for a great year so far. So now we're going to look at things in a different light. In addition to volume, CARE also looks at efficiency. And we often talk about target weights for your container. So this quarter, we wanted to highlight some sites that have the highest average pounds per load based on their container type. And this metric signals that the loads are likely well packed and fall in the upper end of the targeted weight scale. The sites being highlighted for Q1 are Franny's Floor Covering in Visalia, Zanker Recycling in San Jose, Marin Resource Recovery Center in San Rafael, Blue Line Transfer Station in South San Francisco, and Windsor Material Recovery Facility in Windsor. Thank you all for helping the program run efficiently. We really appreciate your attention to detail here. So this brings us to our section of what's working, what's not working, where we ask you to let us know how things are going for your site. And let's start with what's working. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share with the group? If so, please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can add your questions or comment in the chat box. And Jared or Lisa, would you be so kind as to share any posts that might be there?
Yes, of course.
Great, thank you. So, anyone have anything they want to speak to? Or anything especially helpful as a result of being partnered with CARE? Is anyone seeing benefits of diversion at your location? Quiet group. Okay, well, if you think of anything or have questions in the future, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to chat with you. Does anyone have anything they want to share of what's not working? Anybody have anything that's on their minds and they want to let us know? Any challenges that you might be experiencing?
I suppose no news can be good news.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing.
I was going to jump in too, Cheryl, and say that, yeah, anytime, there's something for the group that isn't working, I'd always be interested, to hear about that. And if it's a challenge that could be fixed, with equipment or infrastructure or any type of grant, there may be something I've seen before that someone's done that I could suggest. So, definitely contact us about that.
Yeah, and typically if there's something that's not working, I would imagine you would reach out to us and we would, not wait for a webinar to handle that, of course. And
Yes,
so
please.
we deal with the technical assistance side, as it comes up, but obviously this is just designed to, talk to the group about anything that maybe other people can give input on. But like I said, no news can be good news.
Yeah. Okay, well, it sounds like a quiet group. Did someone have something that they wanted to share? No. Okay, something must have been an echo. Okay, well, this brings us to the last agenda on the item. Once again, we'll try to open up the mic for any questions, comments, or feedback. Feel free to speak on any subject. Just go ahead and unmute yourself. We rely on your feedback. Your voice is very important to us, so we want to hear from you. If you're not comfortable speaking up today, and there's something that maybe we touched on that you want more answers to, just go ahead and send us an email and we'd be happy to reach back out to you and chat with you.
I would just maybe throw out one more time, about the push for new collection points in Southern California. Really, I would appreciate if any of you could think about that. I know, we've talked about this. I've talked about this with several of you already, but if you do think of anything, or if you could forward me or any of us some contacts that we could reach out to, it would be much appreciated. And, hopefully we will be reporting on a large increase in sites as we do these webinars in the coming quarters.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jared. Yeah, I think we're looking at a pretty good year so far based on Q1 with all of the sites that we brought on board and all the activity that's going on. I think that we can count on a positive increase this year, and we are definitely here to help you all do that. If you have any issues with logistics or you need services, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you have questions on invoicing, you can contact Jared and myself. And obviously, if you need any technical support or grant information, you can reach out to your associate like Lisa Mikas and Jared Zitron or Abby directly. And we're all again, just to remind you that we're all here to support you. And so we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And this concludes our webinar presentation for the first quarter of 2022. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Cheryl.
Bye-bye.